So the next thing we're just going to talk about is managing our well-being. So I guess this image here represents the 5 areas of well-being. So there's physical well-being. So this is anything that relates to our physical health. So getting enough sleep, eating well, eating healthily, carrying out regular exercise. So for some people, that doesn't have to mean running 100 miles a day. For some people, it could just be going on a walk, or it could be carrying out some stretches at home. So it just depends on your own, I guess, how much you want to do, really. It depends on yourself. The next one is social well-being. So this is our support network and whether we do have that positive support network to help us, because having a support network provides us with that emotional support that we need sometimes, especially when we're going through difficult situations. Mental well-being. So this is anything that keeps your brain active. So it could be learning a new skill. It could be doing something new. It could be developing already existing skills. It could even be something as simple as carrying out a Sudoku puzzle or a word search. So just anything that really keeps your brain active. And this is really important, to be honest, because especially when we work, so when we may find ourselves in employment, we do use our brain a lot because we're constantly carrying out different tasks. Whereas if we suddenly find ourselves unemployed, we may forget to carry on stimulating our brain. So it's really important to keep doing that. The next thing is emotional well-being. So this is, again, being able to understand and acknowledge your emotions and being able to deal with those emotions mindfully. So what I mean by that is a lot of the time when we experience especially difficult emotions, we like to either disregard them or ignore them, so push them aside, or we like to really focus on those difficult emotions. And as a result, those difficult emotions may become exacerbated. Whereas if we deal with our emotions mindfully, it's reminding ourselves of that notion of impermanence. Yes, I'm feeling a negative emotion right now. So, for example, anger. That doesn't mean I'm going to feel this way forever. So just reminding ourselves that, yes, I'm feeling angry right now. This is why I'm feeling angry. And just reminding yourself that, okay, I am feeling angry right now, and I probably won't be feeling angry tomorrow or the day after. So what can I do right now to support myself? And the final one is spiritual well-being. So this is anything that brings you a sense of peace and a sense of hope for the future. So for some people, this is religious. So it could be carrying out religious practices such as praying. For some people, it's got nothing to do with religion. So spirituality could be anything from carrying out yoga or meditation, or carrying out a small act of kindness towards someone. So giving them that hope. And, in return, that gives you that hope that there is also good in the world. So it's just anything that gives you that sense of hope and peace. So if you are able to take care of these 5 areas of well-being, so they act as pillars and they hold ourselves up. So imagine that there's a house with 5 different pillars holding it up. If these pillars become knocked down one by one, eventually this house is going to collapse. And that is precisely, I guess, a house metaphor for us humans. So the fact that if we stop taking care of these 5 areas of well-being, we may find ourselves really, really struggling a lot more. Because a lot of the time, especially when we're stressed, it's very easy to forget about taking care of our well-being by taking care of these 5 different areas. So it's just really important to keep taking care of those 5 areas of well-being, because these actually help us to become more resilient and more able to cope with difficult, stressful situations. So the next slide actually gives different examples of how we can take care of our well-being. So taking care of your health, taking a break. So sometimes we may find ourselves overthinking about things or worrying about things all the time. So just giving ourselves that break is really, really needed. Just to give ourselves that space to just think and to acknowledge our feelings and to understand ourselves. So caring for others or volunteering, so getting involved and making a contribution. So these are all part of taking care of your spiritual well-being. It could also impact your emotional well-being, your social well-being, your mental, physical, all areas really. So talking about your feelings, learning new skills, and doing something creative. So all of these different things definitely do help you take care of your 5 areas of well-being. And they are really simple things as well that you could include in your everyday life. So definitely try to be more mindful of these and try to incorporate these into your everyday life to really support your ability to be more resilient. Can we go to the next slide, please? So one of the things that we're going to talk about now is SMART goals. So SMART goals essentially are a really good way to help you plan your daily routine. And we're not going to talk about SMART goals related to jobs and job applications. We're actually going to be talking about having SMART goals focused on being able to maintain your well-being. So being able to, again, take care of your well-being helps you maintain that motivation, that optimism, that confidence that you need to help support yourself get through these difficult situations and times. So what you want to do, so if you could please click one more time. So what SMART goals stand for is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So specific, so highlighting what the objective is. Measurable, so knowing how can you tell when that objective has been reached. Attainable, so is this an actual thing that is possible? So is there any way, just thinking of any things that could possibly block your ability to attain that, and think, okay, is this definitely something that I can attain? Relevant, so take into account your personal circumstances and set objectives according to this. And time-based, so giving yourself a time limit or a deadline. And I remember earlier on someone said that, not having that time pressure definitely makes them lose motivation. So SMART goals and introducing these into your lives is a really good way to maintain that motivation while also taking care of your well-being. So just thinking about those 5 different areas of well-being that I discussed, and think about, are any areas of well-being that you feel you are not taking care of right now, or that maybe you're neglecting or maybe not taking so much care of? And it doesn't even have to be specifically to those 5 areas of well-being. It could be the different skills that we discussed. So maybe helping yourself develop a growth mindset, maybe helping yourself challenge those unhelpful thoughts, or maybe it's developing more self-awareness, because all of these things do directly impact well-being. So being able to develop SMART goals based on anything to do with your well-being is really, really helpful. So I guess this is definitely something for you to do in your own time. So at the start of this webinar, I mentioned that we created a training pack. In the training pack, there is 2 pages focusing on SMART goals. And it really gives you a step-by-step guide on how you could develop SMART goals relating to improving your well-being. So the one thing about SMART goals is really that you make them small and achievable. So it's practically impossible for me to say that I want to become the president of America. I can't just say, oh, next week I'm going to become the president of America. I can't just say that. That's an unrealistic goal. So instead, break down that goal into small sections. So maybe it's carrying out a degree in, I'm guessing it's politics, having a degree in politics, and then maybe working myself up. So maybe getting a job in a government building, etc. So just keep working my way up and possibly in the future become a president. So just what's important, what I'm trying to highlight here is making your goals SMART and small. So have your small goals, and each small goal relate to each other, and they build up over time for you to finally achieve that ultimate goal. So regards well-being, it could be perhaps I haven't taken care of my emotional well-being. So how do I want to take care of my emotional well-being? Perhaps it's, if I find it difficult to talk to my friends, perhaps it's having a journal where I can write about my feelings. So maybe one week I can say, okay, I'm going to write just a few sentences once this week. And maybe my next goal could be to do this twice that week and slowly build it up. And maybe by the end of those goals, I could be doing this maybe 5-6 times a week. So that's just a really simple example, but it's really, really important for you to be able to use SMART goals to be able to develop and maintain your well-being. So the next slide, we're just actually going to carry out a mindfulness practice.